Saki here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you'll probably be able to tell from the title, is going to be the luxury time machine tag. Now this tag video was created by Kat L, but it was actually Mel in Melbourne who tagged me to do it. Thank you so much, babe, for tagging me to do this video. I've done a couple of videos similar to this where I talk about like my luxury mistakes or luxury regrets, but the cool thing about this video is that we're actually going to be talking about both the good and the bad, things that like I would not change if I, went back in time in terms of luxury purchases, and also things that I definitely would change or wouldn't do again. My list is kind of small. It was actually really hard for me to think of the things that I would change because like I said, I have done the regrets videos before, so I'm trying not to be redundant. So I've come up with 3 things that I would change and then 4 things that I wouldn't change. But before we start this video, I just wanted to quickly say hello and welcome to anyone new who might be watching my channel. My name is Saki. I upload videos every single week about cute and luxury goods. So if you like handbags and other luxury items like that, please hit that subscribe button down below because I think you'll really like it here on my channel. Alright, so since I have more good than bad, let's just start off on a good note and then we'll end on a good note as well, and I'll alternate kind of like the bad things in between there. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the point that Mel from Mel in Melbourne actually pointed out as well, and that is going to be, I am very grateful that I started buying classic flaps. Well, not too early on, but definitely before the crazy price increases. So I'm very glad that I started out my collection a couple of years ago and was able to afford to buy a lot of the classic flaps that I have. It's actually really funny because this was in one of my luxury regrets or luxury mistakes videos, because I was saying kind of how I regretted paying the price that I did for this classic medium flap, which at the time was the same amount of money as it was in store. I did buy it pre-loved, and this is a 9 series from 2004, so I was paying way overpriced for it if I had bought it, back in 2004 or whatever. So in that video I was saying how I kind of regret spending that much, but now it is not a regret at all, especially for how crazy the Chanel prices are, even secondhand. So I'm actually really thankful that I was able to buy this. This is my dream classic flap. You guys know this is one of my favorite bags in my entire collection, and I'm never gonna let this go. I'm just so happy that I was able to buy it. Now moving on to a regret that I wish I could change if I could turn back time. It also has to do with the classic flap, and that's actually going to be the fact that I sold my Chanel small classic iridescent flap. I already mentioned this in another regrets video, but more and more when I think about how crazy the prices are and how rare the iridescent collection is, I'm kind of starting to regret a little bit that I sold it. Now I did sell it for a pretty good price. I ended up making a little bit of money from it, but just knowing how crazy the classic flap prices are right now and how, rare especially the small classic flaps are, I'm kind of sad that I ended up selling mine and that I don't have one in my collection. I did also mention before that I do want to add another small classic flap to my collection. The one that I'm really hunting for is the small classic flap in the beige clear caviar, maybe from the same year or around the same year as this one. I think that the quality was just better back then, and I would really love to add one of those classic flaps to my collection. So that is why I kind of regret selling the small one. Alright, I know I keep talking about the classic flaps, but my next point is also about a classic flap, and this is something that I'm really glad that I did. And what I'm talking about is in 2019, when the Iridescent collection was all the rage, my essay actually had this Chanel jumbo in stock in her store, and I was so close to telling her no, that I didn't want it, and passing up on it because it was very expensive. I mean, I think back then it was 6,000 something, and I had just bought a backpack from that collection, and I don't know, I just kind of thought it was a lot of money, and I had already gotten a jumbo flap pre-loved, so I really didn't feel like I needed to. However, I'm so glad that I went ahead and got it, and it's in my collection now, even though I know I tell you guys all the time I don't use it that much because the jumbo size is just a little bit too large for my day-to-day life. I am so happy I have the classic jumbo flap in my collection, and I mean, this goes again with the first point as well. The classic flap in store is just so unaffordable right now that I'm just super happy that I made the jump when I did back then, and now I own one and I don't need to ever be looking at jumbo flaps again. So this one kind of incorporates multiple things that I've bought in the past, and I kind of regret buying things just because they were at a good price, or because, you know, I just really wanted something but I didn't want to spend like a crazy amount of money. So off the top of my head, one clear example that I can think of this is the Louis Vuitton Pachette Felici. So I had bought that one because I saw it in store in the Damier Azur color with the pink flap, and it was pretty, not affordable, but it was like, you know, one of those pieces where it wasn't too crazy expensive. I think it was like 1,000 something, and at that time I was really crazy about the Damier Azur with pink, and I just decided to buy it, even though kind of in my heart I was like, do I really need another wall-on chain style bag? I have so many already, and I don't know if I'm going to be using this one that much, but I ended up buying it anyway because it was there and because I could afford it. And in the long run, that kind of thinking actually like wastes money, because I ended up selling that one on, but I didn't even make the amount of money back from when I had purchased it. So I ended up losing a little bit of money there, and I feel like it was so unnecessary. Like, I could have probably waited another week and thought about it and not have even bought that bag anyway to begin with, and we wouldn't be in this scenario. So I do feel like I've done that a couple of different times, and that is definitely something that I regret doing. Even to this day, I kind of still tend to think that way. I'm trying to pull myself out of it a little bit more to really think about what I'm purchasing, even if it's, you know, a little bit cheaper. A lot of the times it's just not worth the money, especially if I end up selling it on and not getting along with the bag anyways. So yeah, I just wish that I would have, you know, thought more about those kinds of purchases in the past. All right, moving on to another positive. You guys are gonna hate me for this. I'm so sorry I talk about this bag in literally every single list video, but yeah. So I am really proud of myself for buying this bag. Please just skip ahead if you already know the story. But this bag basically came out for Chinese Valentine's Day a few years ago, and I was debating on it for a while. And when it came out, I was debating on it because it is a Prada bag, and I don't tend to buy Prada in store, and it was kind of expensive for what it was too. So I kept telling myself, like, you know, maybe it'll pop up in the resale market. You don't want to pay full price for a Prada bag. There's just so many things that I kept listing about why you shouldn't buy the bag, but at the end of the day, I ended up buying it anyway. And I'm very glad that I did, because this thing is so hard to find on the secondhand market. I've only seen it maybe once or twice, and not even in the pink color. I've seen it in the black and the red, but no one's ever sold the pink secondhand as far as I could remember. I also get offers almost every single day about people wanting to buy this bag from me. I'm so sorry, but I'm not letting it go. It's just too precious to me to let go. But yeah, I talk about it so much, but I'm very glad that I was able to buy this and that I made a decision to go for it. All right, moving on to a luxury regret. This also has to do with Chanel. I know I talk about Chanel a lot on this channel because that's one of my favorite brands. Even with the price increases, it's still one of my favorite brands. I'm just looking to buy more secondhand and vintage pieces. Speaking of which, the next luxury regret is there is this 9 series shoulder bag that is this exact color in the caviar leather, and it's like one of those 90s/2000s style shoulder bags. I'll insert a picture for you guys to see. I've seen this on the secondhand market for many years, like ever since I started buying Chanel, and I used to be able to find it for way under $1,000. Like, I think I found one a long time ago that was like $700, $800 or whatever, just because that bag was not popular back then, and like the 2000s trend hadn't come back yet. However, now if you're trying to find that bag, especially with how expensive and popular Chanel is, It's very, very expensive. I've seen it go on eBay for like $3,000 and more, and like the cheapest I can find it now is like $1,800. It's just so crazy to me because I've seen that bag, you know, only a couple of years earlier, way, way, way cheaper and in like better condition as well. The reason why I didn't buy it back then is because I was telling myself like, oh, I'm never gonna use that style of bag. It's just too like vintage and whatever. Okay, look at me now. I'm so obsessed with this kind of style bag, kind of like my Gucci Jackie bag. So I really wish that I had jumped the gun and just bought it. It's my favorite Chanel color of all time. I just think that the 9 Series Vintage Pink is the most beautiful shade of like bubblegum pink. So I should have bought it anyway back then and just held on to it, but unfortunately I decided to pass that up and now I totally regret not buying one for that price. All right, and the last thing is going to be kind of a cop-out, but I am actually really, really glad that I bought my first Chanel wallet on chain back in 2016, I believe. But I'm very, very glad that I, you know, got up the courage to save money for my very first Chanel wallet on chain, because that kind of kickstarted off my entire, you know, luxury collection. I don't have that bag anymore. I actually replaced it with this Iridescent wallet on chain, but I will never forget that feeling that I had of, you know, buying something so expensive by myself for the first time. I remember like getting jitters. I remember kind of feeling sick afterwards, but I had bought that one, I believe, from eBay, or maybe it was like one of those sites like Tradesy. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember anymore. But yeah, I do remember being really, really nervous about it and worrying about authenticity and stuff, but I'm so glad that I pushed myself to do it because it had been something I wanted for a really, really long time. I was just so scared to spend that amount of money on something, but in the end, I'm glad that, you know, I was able to save for it and that I pushed myself to buy it because I just love my luxury collection right now, and it would have never happened if I hadn't started out with that wallet on chain. Alright, so that was all for my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video wasn't too boring or anything, but like I said, I tried not to repeat myself from the luxury regret videos that I've already done in the past. So if you do want to see more things that I kind of regret or I consider mistakes that I've made since I've started collecting luxury, I will link 2 videos down below for you guys so you can go check that out. And before I go, I just wanted to mention July's giveaway. For the month of July, I'm giving away this Coach bag. This is the Coach Rowan satchel. It is very, very beautiful. I just did a review on it on my channel not too long ago. I will link that down below for you as well. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is leave this emoji in the comment section down below. You can comment in as many videos as you'd like in the month of July, only for the videos I upload this month. Please also leave your Instagram username in your comment as well. This giveaway is open internationally, and I will choose a winner at the end of the month. You do have to be subscribed to me here on YouTube to enter, and also following me on Instagram as well. And yeah, with that, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!
I told you I'm not yours anymore. No, I'm not yours. So why you trying to hold on?